Kamen Rider Build.
Hey YouTube, Dustin Rider here with a review of Kamen Rider Build episode 39. Just like I said in the Lupin Pat review, we are back to weekly episode reviews for now, so enjoy that. So yeah, this was a quote-unquote big episode because it was the debut of the final form, the genius form, and it was also the return of the egotistical rider, Sento. So this was a pretty solid episode. It was pretty, honestly, I'd say quiet, maybe, until we got to the end, just because it kind of focused on one of those aftermath episodes when there's a big conflict at the beginning of this episode / the end of the last one, and kind of an aftermath. So we just basically saw the continuation of Mad Rogue going mad and defeating everybody, and then you have like Gentoku licking his wounds and sort of, reminiscing isn't the right word, sort of reflecting on the bad decisions he's made in general and the bad decisions that he made that led Utsumi to, you know, go crazy, because he's like, oh, he just wanted a simple life, and now he's got like a creepy smile, and they really emphasize it. Like when he's being evil, he's like, it's like creepy. So yeah, they kind of emphasize that a bit, and then you have Kasaragi being like, okay, I got to make a super powerful bottle, and then I'm gonna kill evil, and then I'm gonna kill Ryuga, and yeah, so they're both bad. I'm like, whoa, what was that last one? Yeah, like Banjo, he's got to go. He ain't no Kazooie. Like, no, like, he's evil. And then, you know, intermittent all this, Ryuga was having little flashbacks again. And again, I feel like I created confusion last week when I was talking about how I'm confused about it. Because I'm confused, but I'm not. I'm not confused about what they're saying about what Banjo is. I'm just confused about, not even confused is the right word, it just kind of bothers me the way the writers seem to want to change it depending on what they want to do in that episode. Like when he couldn't transform, they made it seem more like, okay, he just kind of had some DNA grafted onto him and it's gone now. But now they're like, oh yeah, he's still part of him. Like, I'm not confused about what he is. I just don't like that the writers will kind of change the focus of what Banjo is depending on what they want to achieve. And like that was kind of this week where he was having those flashbacks. That's still foreshadowing at this point because, you know, it was just a little bit of this. But yeah, that just kind of bothers me a little bit. Again, it's something I'll get more into when we get more answers. It's kind of too hard to say anything right now about that. But, you know, Grease, like, charged. It was funny because Grease was, like, walking towards Ryuga while he was contemplating Ryuga stuff. And then he started running at him, and we cut away, and then you find out they're fighting because Grease wanted to get his hazard level up. It was really weird because for a split second, I thought Grease was going to take, like, kidnap, might not be the right word, but kidnap Ryuga to get him to a safe location because, like, Sento was going to go after him right now, or Kasaragi. But no, he just wanted to do that classic, let's fight without misunderstanding, or with misunderstanding, to get our hazard levels up. And Kasaragi made the super duper build bottle, which, as we know, is like basically a combination of the energy of all the standard build bottles. Like pretty par for the course of like the standard list of 3 to 5 things that Rider final forms are. And then, you know, they start staging an attack, and everyone's, you know, going out to fight, and we find out that Kasaragi recalibrated the bottles a little bit so that he could fight with Rabbit so he'd be used to it. That was an interesting beat. It was actually really cool to see his version of the Henshin in roll call, or not roll call, it's a single like catchphrase, because it was like more subdued and very much of his personality. But then like when he went to transform, he couldn't, which it was a little bit cheesy, like, oh, you don't care about people enough, but it was kind of a nice moment because it tied back to when Banjo first became a rider and Sento was like, you have to really want to protect people to use this system. And so you have this nice scene of Banjo like defending Kasaragi from being attacked. So not only does he get to say, yo, Banjo's kind of a good dude, you know, he's still got that weird hair braid right like there that I always forget's there until they show a shot like this, but he's still a good dude. And so they go over that, and he's seeing like that he's protecting him. And it was just a cool full circle moment to both of their development, like their friendship. Obviously Kasaragi doesn't remember at the moment, but when, like I said, when Claus was becoming a rider and he's like, you know, I have this ready for you, but you really have to be ready. And it showed his development by like him showing not only how far he had come, but what Sento had taught him. And then, you know, you get that aha moment where Kasaragi starts to remember. They did in kind of a weird, funny way, but like he had looked like a little headache thing, and then you see like a high up image, and then it showed like images from the series around him, and then like we go into this mind palace with like equations and bottle stuff, and then you have Kasaragi and Sento talking to each other, and he's like, can you really do it? Can you be the hero this city deserves? Or something like that. And then they touch hands, and more or less it's implied that he has all the memories now. We didn't get like confirmation, like he didn't look at the camera like, we have all the memories now. The camera's down there. But that's what it was implying. It was a really neat scene actually to see those two talking. I also do like how they've been intercutting between like shots of Kasaragi to show us like, oh, this is this version of the character that we're talking to right now. I thought that was cool, like at various moments, like underneath the suit and stuff. But we get to see the two of them together, and like kind of touch hands like the opening scene, the last scene in the current opening theme, and merge. And, you know, Sento comes out of it, and it was like the perfect line for him to enter on. He's like, I knew this was too much to ask for a supporting character like you. And then he uses the bottle, and he becomes the genius form. And it's a really overcomplicated transformation that's going to be so cumbersome that I can't even imagine seeing in a running henshin. But it was pretty cool. I really do like the suit. I think it looks pretty neat. I do like that it's not my absolute favorite, but rather than finding another file, I like that it was created by Kasaragi Pure, Prime, whatever you want to call it. And then, even though the making of the form was rather boring, like it was just, okay, we need a new powerful form, let's do this. But I do like that the ascension to it is benchmarked by like an emotional character thing. So, unless I'm wrong about them being merged now and like Sento is just the prime host now or something, I like that this final form was achieved by him becoming his full self and having all of his memories. It kind of reminded me of Gaim, where sometimes, you know, the explanation of, you know, the Helheim guy with the scarf would just give him Kachidoki, and it wouldn't be like, oh, here's an amazing backstory on how this was made, but the form debut was special because it was accompanied by an emotional benchmark for the character. So I like that a lot. Also, they started playing the theme song when he transformed, and this was a good use of it because it's Build's theme. It felt like a heroic, uplifting moment. I talked about last week how it was kind of awkward because they cut the theme and it debuted during Rogue. Like, this is a dark moment, a villain's debuting, and you're like, be the one, you're about to die. Like, that was what it was like. And so what was funny is they didn't cut out the theme. We still got the full-on theme this week. Not that they can't play the theme later, but it's just pick a time, people. But that worked because regardless of whether they needed to cut the theme at the beginning or not, the theme worked for a debut of Build's final form. It was a great scene. I really liked it. I'm still kind of bothered by them. I mean, like, they have hinted at it that Kasaragi, we don't have all the information, and that he maybe wasn't totally evil, but I just think it was cooler if he was not evil, but just not that great of a guy, because I think it makes Sento's develop more interesting than rather making it Kasaragi was a good guy. It was a little extreme. Because they highlighted some of that this week, some of the stuff I was interested to see, which was like, you know, he doesn't have that hero's heart and stuff that Sento grew into as a new person. I think that makes him one of the most fascinating protagonists, that he's essentially was two people and is now one. But I just felt it does bother me that they took away and sort of nerfed him a little bit. I think they could have made it more so that, not like he's evil, like I don't care about anything and I want to kill people. It could have just been more like, I just care about science and making more advancements, and maybe he didn't care so much about the consequences. Like, I don't know. There's some tweaking to be done there. I'll probably dig more into it later on, maybe in my series review, but that does bother me. But regardless, these scenes did hit a lot of good points of what I wanted to see out of something like that, to highlight, like, the good person that Sento did become and why he's, you know, really improved on who he was as Kasaragi. But overall, very solid episode. I liked it a ton. I would give it an 8.5. A little slow start, but not in a bad way. It was a good build-up, and there was lots of really neat moments and pretty solid payoff. Anyway, that's about it. Until next time, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Kamen Rider, signing out.